What's good, everybody? Let me say something to you real quick. I know that if you're hearing the sound of my voice right now, more than likely you're a human. And humans, if I know them like I think I do, they like to hold on to things like the money in their bank account and protect things like their credit score, because more than likely they enjoy the things that they get from them, like being able to afford your lavish car payment or your house payment, and being able to also use your credit to obtain some of those things that you have. Now, even if you don't have a lot of money in a bank account and you don't have a really high credit score, more than likely you want to at least keep your stuff where it is, because you want to hold on to it, because if you lose it, the little bit that you feel that you have, or the place where you feel your credit score is, if it went any lower, you would probably feel real depressed about that. Because of those facts, I know that at least you probably want to at least keep your stuff where it is. And of course, if somebody was to steal your identity and your information to your bank account or access to your credit and being able to use it to apply for things that they want and not take care of the account, that means that it would affect you and hurt you in what you are able to do, no matter what level you're at with your income, your money in the bank account, or your credit score. Now, because of that, that's why you would want to try to protect your information and ensure that you don't fall victim to identity theft. And that's what inspired me to make this video today. Now, as I'm sure a lot of you know, if you haven't been under a rock over the last few years, there have been several data breaches out there from various different companies, not to mention the day-to-day things that can happen where somebody could possibly steal your information. And a lot of the ways people can steal your information and your identity can come from this device right here. Now, I know most people have Facebook, and if you're unaware, a while ago, Facebook got hacked and had a data breach, and about 50 million people had their information stolen during that breach. eBay also had a breach in the past, and it was about 145 million people that had their information stolen. Marriott had a breach. It was about 500 million people who had their information stolen. And I know you know about Equifax being breached, and it was about 147 million people who had their information stolen with that data breach. Now, you can see that those are a plethora of different types of companies and entities who had information that was hacked and stolen from regular Americans like you and me. And that information ranged from their names, their addresses, their email addresses, other personal information like their social security number, dates of birth, and sometimes even credit card and banking information. Not to mention the Colonial Pipeline, not too long ago, just last year, got hacked, and that is a major company that provides something major to all of us, which caused gas shortages and had us scrambling to try to find gas. And it's assumed that that happened just from somebody's password being on a dark web. And the information came out eventually that it was a Russian-linked cybercrime group that actually did that. Now, with something that massive happening that affects so many people just from something as minor as a password being taken and put on a dark web, how easy do you think it is, and how much do you think it would affect you personally if somebody was able to do something like that to this device that you have in your pocket right now? And with everything going on right now with the war and everything, and people saying that it's possible that we can get cyber attacked again in a major way by Russia through Putin, again, that made me think that we should be very concerned about our cybersecurity, especially when it comes down to our phone, because everything in this day and age is pretty much digital, and we pretty much use our cell phones for everything. So even though something like that hasn't happened through a cyber attack from Russia, we should make sure that we're protecting our digital information, because even without the worry of that happening, identity theft occurs to a person about every 2 seconds. So I wanted to go over with you guys some ways that people are able to actually steal your information on a day-to-day basis, how you can kind of tell if something like that has happened to you with a virus or a malware being put on your phone, and what you can actually do about it to try to protect yourself from these things happening. And for that reason, I actually partnered with a company called Aura, who sponsored this video dealing with cybersecurity. Do you know what the fastest growing crime in America is? For years, this crime's rate has been surging and affecting millions of Americans. I'm talking about identity theft, and it happens to 1 in 20 Americans. Yet despite this, those who have had their identity stolen are often shocked when it happens. Imagine trying to log into your email account one day, only to see the password had changed hours ago. Then you start getting notifications of activity from your bank, credit cards, crypto accounts. That's when the feelings of panic, fear, anxiety, paranoia, disbelief, shock, anger, frustration, and guilt set in. That's why I'm excited to partner with Aura, who is sponsoring this video. Aura is identity theft protection, fraud monitoring, a VPN, password management, and antivirus software all combined into one easy-to-use app on your phone. Aura monitors the dark web for your emails, passwords, and social security numbers, and sends alerts fast, right to your phone and email. Now, my first time logging into Aura, I was surprised to see that my login credentials have been found in about 32 different incidences on the dark web. But not only did they show me where the actual breach had happened, they also gave me some instructions on what I can do in case my information was found with the breached company's name attached to it. When it comes to fraud, every second matters. Connect your credit and bank accounts and get notified of any changes up to 4 times faster than Aura's competitors. Their VPN allows you to stay anonymous online by keeping your browsing history and personal information safe and encrypted. And their antivirus software that will block malware and viruses before they infect your devices. Protect you and your family from America's fastest growing crime. Use my link to try Aura for free for 2 weeks and see if any of you or your family's personal information has been compromised. Start your free trial at aura.com/thecreditelect. Link down in the description. So go and make sure that you aren't an unknowing victim, and make sure that you and your family don't become victims in the future. Now guys, Aura is going to be a great company to use to protect your phone and your personal information, because they will give you those alerts on anything that might be happening with your bank account. You can find out if your information has been leaked to the dark web. So even if it's not something that happened to you closely, if your information got breached at a certain database for another company, you can at least know that, hey, I have information over here that possibly got leaked. Let me try to do what I need to do to protect myself. But let's go ahead and go into some of the different ways that people can actually try to hack into your phone or even your computer and take your information. Now, one of the top ways is going to be public Wi-Fi. A lot of people love using the public Wi-Fi, especially if you have, a carrier that has a little bit of a slower service. So, when you go out in public places, it can be good to connect to Wi-Fi. Like if you go to a Starbucks, if you go to a fast food place, or even if you're at an airport, connecting to the public Wi-Fi is something that can be very convenient. And so a lot of us do that. The problem is anybody can also be on that Wi-Fi, and they could be looking for different people who are connected to the Wi-Fi to try to steal and obtain your private and personal information. Now, some of you guys that actually work from home, it's also possible for somebody to try to get your information through a work group chat. If it's not a secure work group chat, it's possible for hackers that are trying to get information from within the company to try to hack into that chat service. I believe the company called Slack actually had a data breach by companies using it in that way. But again, even working from home, it's possible for somebody to try to tap into your work network through chat and try to take important information. Now, if you didn't know or realize, a lot of retailers, they collect your information as well, and they gather it through things like rewards programs. Even if you fly a lot, those frequent flyer programs, they have a lot of people's information, and there have been times where hackers have tried to hack into those databases to try to get your personal information through those rewards programs. Now, something that can actually become a little bit more direct and personal is around tax time, people trying to act like they may be the IRS, or they may be a company that you filed taxes with in the past. So somehow they may have obtained your information knowing that you filed taxes at this place, and then they reach out to you by email trying to say, hey, we need this certain information from you. And then you send the information in, and then they're actually able to take that information and use it to obtain your tax money, or your tax refund rather. So that is something that a lot of them aim to do, because of course that time is usually when people are getting a lot of money in, and sometimes they're even as bold to call you after they find your phone number in some way and then try to tell you that, hey, we need this very important information to get something done that you need done, like getting your taxes completed or making sure you get your refund on time, and then they'll ask you for information that they actually need to try to steal that from you. Also now, some things that you might see is that you might receive a text message from an unknown number that might be saying, hey, you need to download these pictures, or it may be saying that you need to transfer money or money was transferred to you, and you have to click a link in order to be able to obtain whatever it is. And of course, as soon as you click that link from this unknown number, then you will end up getting hacked and they'll be able to access your information or get access to your phone. And one thing that I know a lot of people wouldn't really think about is you could be in a public place charging your phone at different places that have those random USB plug-in spots where you can actually plug in your phone to charge it. And as you know, those charging cables now, they usually transfer electricity, but they can also transfer data. So if that is the case, some wires don't transfer data, but if you have one that does transfer data and charge, then it's possible for information to be taken from the charger if somebody has hacked into that particular charging spot. Now, all of those are different ways that people can try to attack you or get your information or get access to hack into your phone. So now I'm going to give you guys some warning signs to let you know that you may have your information compromised or your phone may have been tapped into. So you need to stick around to hear what to do to actually try to overcome these issues. But this is how you can know something might have happened to your phone and your personal information. So one thing you may notice is that your phone is dying extra fast. And let's say you have a newer phone, you know that's not going to be a situation where your phone should be dying fast. Usually that happens, a year, maybe 2 years down the line, but it's not going to be something that happens really quickly. So that is going to be a red flag to let you know that something might be going on, because if someone has tapped into your phone, it's very possible that they could be sending information from your phone to somewhere else, and that's going to require or use a lot of energy from your phone, which would drain your battery a lot faster. Another thing you want to keep an eye on is your phone freezing up a lot and running slowly. Now, this is something that again can happen to your phone over time. But if you have a newer phone or you don't have a lot of used up storage, because usually if you use up a lot of your storage on your phone, that can also cause it to freeze up, run slow. But if that isn't the case, but you're still seeing something like that happen, that should be a red flag to you to let you know that something is going on with your phone that might be out of the normal. Now, this one might be a little bit more obvious for you to tell that something might be off, but you may not have paid attention to it and written it off. But a lot of times you could probably look at the dial pad on your phone and see maybe some of the buttons, some of the numbers may look a little bit different than you're used to seeing them look on your phone. You might also see the same change within some of the apps on your phone or within the browser and the browser tabs on your phone. So that's something that should throw up a red flag and let you know that something is definitely going on here. And finally, something that's very clear that something wrong is going on is you seeing a bunch of pop-ups happen on your phone. Now, usually this is something that you would see on a computer once something has went wrong with the computer and it has been compromised. But nowadays you can even see that happen on your phone, where something pops up saying that if you just press this button, you'll win something or you'll get something. And then as soon as you press that button on the pop-up, then they have access to your phone or access to take your information because you click the button or the link, and that can open up the door to malware being put on your phone. Now again, this isn't all the things that you might see that are red flags, but these are a lot of the things that might be real big indicators that something is going on with your phone and you need to take action. So what are the things that you can do if you do see a lot of these red flags popping up for you and you're concerned that something might be going on with your phone? Well, the first thing you can do is you want to go and look at all your apps, see if there's anything that seems unusual as far as apps that you may not have downloaded, and then you want to try to delete those apps off of your phone. Another thing that you might want to do if you're on Android, there's an option in your settings that allows you to download apps from unknown sources. So the first thing you might want to do is go there and turn that feature off to make sure that no apps that aren't from the App Store and that are from unknown sources don't get downloaded onto your phone. Now, another thing that you might want to do, especially if you're in public using those Wi-Fi networks, you want to make sure that it's not a crazy looking Wi-Fi name, the network name, because sometimes there might be somebody putting out a Wi-Fi network that looks like the actual business location that you're at because they want you to connect to it, and it's actually something that they're putting out there to lure you into connecting to it, and then they can easily get your information. But even if they are connected to that business's public Wi-Fi, you want to make sure that you aren't handling any major transactions that might have your personal information involved, like transferring money from your bank account or really making any purchases using your debit card, because no matter how much the dollar amount is, you putting your debit card or credit card information in while connected can compromise that information. Another thing you can do to protect your passwords or anybody getting access to those is putting in place two-factor authentication on anything that you normally would have to log into. That way, if you are logging in from a device that may not be a common device that you log in from, or just anytime somebody logs into that particular account, you can have it to where it is verified that it is you before the login is allowed. Another thing you can do, which most people probably don't really want to do, is constantly update your passwords, maybe every month, every quarter or so that you can make sure that you are changing it up, and if somebody did get access to any of that information, they would be locked out eventually, because of course you're constantly updating that information. Another thing that you can do, which is a very strong way that can kind of let your mind rest at ease, is installing antivirus type software on your phone to try to help protect it and make sure that nobody gets access to it, which is the same thing that Aura provides. And if you were to end up in that situation where you have people actually calling you to try to get your information over the phone, what you would want to do is hang up with whoever it is that's talking to you on the phone, because for one, the IRS isn't going to call you and ask for any information. But if it's a business or something like that, or if it's the IRS, you just want to make sure that this person is who they say they are, you can always hang up the phone and then call that place back, just to make sure that you are legit talking to somebody at that location. And when it comes down to your phone and all of the other issues that can happen on your phone, if you're really unsure of if your phone has malware on it or a virus on it, or if somebody's hacked into your phone or not, and you're not sure if some of these steps that I mentioned are actually helping you, what you might want to do is go ahead and hit a factory reset on your phone. Yes, it will clear out a lot of your information, but it's the best way to make sure that everything has been cleared out of your phone and that you don't have any of that stuff in there, and that you can try to start off with a clean slate. Now, hopefully you guys found this information very useful, and this is going to help you to protect your identity, your bank account, and your money in it, as well as your credit report, your credit score, and make sure that you are able to do the things that you are usually comfortable with doing without having to worry about if somebody's going to take your information or not. If you did enjoy this video, please let me know, leave a comment down below. If you have actually been in that situation where you've had your phone locked out before, where you've had your phone hacked before, or your identity stolen before, leave that down in the comment and let us know how you dealt with the situation. But give this video a thumbs up, so like it, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you'll be notified of any time I put out more information like this. I thank you for sticking around to the end of the video, and I'll see you guys next time.